a lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts. Hello, everyone. I am super excited that you all are able to join me. Welcome to the Q with Q. It's me, your host, Quentin R. Giles. This is our daily political briefing. You know that for so long I have done the minute-to-minute updates, and I love those things, and we'll get back to them one day. I said in about 2 weeks, but for 2 weeks, we're going to be doing it just like this. So thank you all for rocking with me, and thank you all for supporting me. Definitely in the comments, I'd love to see where you all are streaming from. If you ever see me looking down, it's because at times I'm looking at the comments, or at times I'm running the dashboard for the show. You'll see banners that are scroll across the screen. All of that is being done right now. And I want to lay a few ground rules before we get into it, because we had some issues yesterday, even though I say this every day. I am a fan of dissent, not disrespect, right? Dissent, not disrespect. So please, everyone, if you have an opinion, if you have thoughts, please say them, please state them. If you see people that disagree with you, engage with them. That's totally fine. But when it moves into the realm of disrespect, we're not gonna have that. So I missed the trolls yesterday. I didn't see it as it was going on. I'll try to be a little more active looking at the comments today. I do apologize about that. I know some people were offended, some people were turned off, and you all know that's not something that I stand for. So hopefully the trolls don't find their way in today, or if they do, hopefully they come with an educated civil discourse type of conversation, because we're always open for that. We're always open to an opposing idea. We're always open for people to have their own views on subjects. So have no issues with that. But when it gets to disrespect, when it gets to name calling, and when it gets to just using harmful and hateful language, we're not having those things. So I'll try to keep my best when I look down, try to keep my eye out for it. If you all see it, please, let me know. Somebody was saying moderator yesterday. I don't have a moderator set up, but that'll be a good way for me to just kind of pin down and recognize what's actually happening in the comments. So thank you all for being here. Let's get into the show now. Let's get into the show, because see, I'm a little early today because I'll be down there. They're having like this fire show or whatever, something like that. I don't know. It's called, what is it? La Cucina Pizza and Pasta. Maybe they're gonna have pizza and pasta down there at the restaurant at the resort, and they're gonna have a fire show. I said, now wait a minute, y'all gonna be throwing fire? I love to see that. I love a good flamethrower show. That's always fun. So I'm here early because I got that. Also, after this live, as you know, if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, that I have opened up applications for interns. So I have actually brought someone on already. There's still some applications that I'm looking through. So after this call, I'll be talking with them, and we're working through some content that we're gonna be developing and putting forward. So I'm not gonna release the name right now, but the person that I've already brought on, they've already done some work, which I'm thankful for and grateful for. And so that video will be released pretty soon. And then I'll still be going through and going through the resumes, because there are about 3 other people that I think I'm liking just at first glance. So doing the YouTube live with y'all right now. Next, talk to one of the people that I brought on the team. And then after that, flame throwing shows and all that. I'm so excited. I can't even wait. So thank you all. Before we also get into it, y'all know how we do here on the YouTube. If you're watching, there's a such thing called a super chat and a super sticker. By you doing super chats and super stickers, that feeds into the work that I do. That allows me to continue to do what I do. There'll also be another screen scrolling with my Cash App and all those things where you can donate there as well. That would be awesome, because again, I do this thing full time. This is my 9 to 5, if you will, and I'm completely funded by you. So shout out to you all. Shout out to the people on the podcast that are listening. Shout out to the people who have joined Patreon. That's another way to support. I love you and I thank you. Baby, let's get into the news. That was a lot. I had to do a whole intro. That was a whole lot of intro. Let's get into the news, baby. Let's get into the news. So I had saw that Miss Nancy Pelosi, that's not her real middle name, but Miss Nancy Pelosi has been renominated to be the Speaker of the House. Now, while I'm not shocked, I'm interested to see if anybody else is going to be nominated, because during her last tenure, anybody that runs in Congress, they have to run every 2 years. And so even the leadership in that House, they have to be nominated and run within their own caucus, right? So this will be amongst the Democrats. Republicans have no vote in this because this is the Democrat. And likewise with the Republicans, they will all get together. People will run for certain leadership positions in their party, in their caucus, in the House, likewise in the Senate and stuff like that, and then it'll be delved out. Well, 2 years ago, there was a push to get rid of Nancy Pelosi. This would have been 2 years into the Trump administration. There was a push to get rid of her. And there was even some speculation about Auntie Maxine not supporting her. I remember that. It was good. We was trying to see what was going to happen. But all in all, Sis was still the speaker, if you will. Sis was the speaker. So she's been renominated. And I would love to know in the comments, just throw them out there. Do you think that this is still wise to keep Nancy Pelosi as the Speaker of the House? Or do you think that it is time for new leadership? Is it time for someone else to take the mantle and to step up in this leadership position? And maybe Nancy Pelosi should only have like an overseer type of role. What do you think? Me personally, I like Nancy Pelosi. Sometimes she does get on my nerves, though. She does get on my nerves with the let's not swing too far left mantra and rhetoric. And I understand what she's trying to say, but I feel like anybody that I don't know, I don't understand what too far left is. Or I've told y'all before, I identify as a progressive, right? But let me be clear with my progressivism. So I identify everything through the lens of Christ. I want what Jesus wants, and period, point blank. Period, point blank. And so my politics is dictated by that. And so when I say I'm a progressive, I am a person that values the equality and equity for every life. And I know progressives at large, right, have that mantra as well. And it's interesting that you would hear people attack progressives, but it's like, what exactly are you really thinking about what you're attacking when somebody is really looking for the equality and equity for every person? Like, I don't know why that is a controversial thing. For me, again, I'm looking at it through the lens of Christ. I view every person as an image bearer. God made each of them, so they are owed a basic human respect. And I'm talking in human terms right now. My Christian friends, I can get real churchy if you want to, but I'm just speaking in basic human earthly terms, right? And so sometimes when Nancy Pelosi or other Democrats say those things, because I saw Senator, I think Joe Manchin out of West Virginia said something to the effect of, we're not defunding the police and all this other stuff, like recently. But it wasn't so much, or the way I took it, it wasn't so much as, he was opposed to the idea of actually taking money away from the cops. It was almost like this strike against progressivism because he's a Democrat that's in a Republican state, and I don't really know. So sometimes I have to parse language out sometimes because I'm like, what is it that you're saying? So I just want to know, what do you all think? Do you think Nancy Pelosi, put in the comments, do you think Nancy Pelosi should keep her speakership? Also, if you're feeling the video, definitely hit like. We need those likes. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm cool with Nancy. I'm cool with Nancy keeping her job. I don't have no problem with those things. I have no problem with those things. But I do think that there are real things that can be done on the House floor, right? Because she runs that side. I'm not sure why there still has not been a student loan bill created by the House. Whether it was going to, I reject the argument that, they wouldn't put stuff on the floor because it wouldn't pass in the Senate. They put lots of stuff on the floor that they know wasn't going to pass in Mitch McConnell's Senate as the leader, but they still voted on it. And so I am very concerned that there has yet to be any type of vote or yet to be any type of real legislation that really targets student loans. Like, that's a hard problem for me. That on the other side of Joe Biden getting into office, we're going to really need to look at. I'm not playing about it. No. Chuck Schumer came out the other day and said, Joe Biden could wipe away $50,000 with a stroke of a pen. Joe Biden already has a plan that wipes away, I think, $10,000 every year based on community service and some other type of job. It's in his Lift Every Voice plan. I'm on the side of striking the 50K. To be quite honest, I have 80K. I need 50K wiped away like that. Going to college and getting a degree, whether you go into the public or private sector, is a public good. Period. It's a public good. Those people that get those jobs, you got your educators, your social workers, your nurses. What other jobs? I'm trying. Your dentists, your tech people, your banking people, your finance people, whatever sector it is. When they come out of the workforce and work in those jobs, we the public benefit because we the public need people in those types of jobs. Therefore, college is a public good. Therefore, my degree should be a public good. Therefore, my degree should not burden me with $80,000 when I'm serving the public by obtaining it. That's on period. So it is very concerning that the Dems hadn't done that. But I'm gonna go ahead and let Nancy Pelosi keep her job. She can go ahead and keep her job today. But we're gonna have a real serious conversation on the other side. Let's move on into the attacks on the black vote. We're seeing this all across the country, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday in the live. With them trying to not certify votes in Detroit. It seems as though Trump and his campaign and the people that are fighting to recount the vote and overturn the election and it's stolen and it's fraud and all this other stuff, they seem to be only attacking black cities or places that have a high level of black voters. And I think we just need to call a thing a thing. These people are racist. They're being racist. They're not attacking or calling into question any other votes. Like the one I mentioned, Ohio, prime example, Ohio. Joe Biden was leading in Ohio in the beginning. And as they continued to count mail-in ballots, Trump took the lead and ultimately carried the state. So Trump won Ohio. But I don't hear anybody on Trump's team. I don't hear Lindsey Graham, and we're gonna talk about Lindsey Graham a little later too. I don't hear anybody, that's so up in arms about how this election turned out, have an issue with the vote in Ohio. But you got issues with mail-in ballots in black cities, in brown cities. Why? It's like modern day Jim Crow. It's like modern day, not even a modern day poll tax, but you are trying to infringe upon the rights of black folks. And we just need to call a thing a thing. Like, I'm tired of baby pacifying it. I'm tired of sidestepping it, making excuses for it. It's targeted not only to disrupt the vote, but it's also targeted because there seems to be a sense that you don't think that black people's thoughts, opinions, feelings, issues are valid. And that is why those cities continue to be targeted. I mean, or somebody gonna have to make it make sense. That is the conclusion that I have come to at this point. That's just where I'm at with it. It just does not make sense. It doesn't. So when you make it make sense, then let me know. Okay, make it make sense, then let me know. And that's on period. That's on period. So right now, scrolling at the bottom of your screen, I would like you all to take a look at that. That is an opportunity. If you have a product or a brand and want to advertise here, whether you want to advertise at the bottom of the screen scrolling like that, or if you would like a full-blown promotion on any of my platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, podcast, special YouTube videos created, you can email me at advertisewithq@gmail.com. Again, advertisewithq@gmail.com. Those that are watching and streaming on the live stream right now, you can read that at the bottom. For the people that are listening or will listen on the podcast, on the replay, I'll put this in the show notes, that email address for you to reach out if there's something that you'd like to advertise. If there's an event or something that you're doing that you want to advertise, definitely hit us up there. And let's get back into the show. Now, Boeing, if you followed me long enough, I covered the Boeing story, almost 2 years ago? It's been about 20 months. Excuse me, let me get a little drink of water. It's been about 20 months since the Boeing 737 was landed because they had two fatal plane crashes overseas. And I think the most damning thing that actually came out was, and this was something that I didn't know, was that pilots are able to anonymously communicate. I guess they have this whole pilot infrastructure, right? That they are able to anonymously communicate when there are things going wrong with the plane, etc., things like that. And so there have been several complaints. Excuse me. Shout out to you, Laura. Thank you so much. Just got a super sticker in. Thank you so much, guys. That's a super sticker. We love those. That helps me continue. Thanks so much, Laura. That they had the damning report when we found out that pilots had actually complained about the Boeing 737 and certain things that were going on with the plane. I think that was more damning than anything that we found out. Obviously, the loss of life in those fatal car crashes was hard, but then to find out that pilots had actually complained about this and nothing had been done, that was like, wait a minute, y'all need to do a whole nother reboot on the plane, baby, because we just can't be getting on the plane and y'all not fixing stuff and y'all know it's broken. I had an experience one time. It wasn't fatal or anything, and this is not even to make light of anything, but I got on the flight one time, and we had completely boarded, completely, sat down, everybody locked in. I mean, boarded, right? About to close the doors, and one of the stewardess comes on, or excuse me, not the stewardess, excuse me, not the flight attendant. One the pilot came on and said we were going to have to deboard because the plane needed an oil change. I said, nah, oil change. Now, I don't know if the pilot was being funny, but we did have to get off the plane and we ended up getting, I don't know if we got on that plane. It took a while if we got on that one or a different one. I don't really remember. But I said, wait a minute, not an oil change? And why y'all just not finding that out? And we didn't sat down, like I've sat down. You know how you get on the plane, you sit down, you put your stuff up, you pull out your snacks, get your cover, whatever you're going to bring. Nowadays, wear your mask and your eye covering. And we done got on, locked in, seatbelts tight, all that stuff, and the plane need an oil change. I said, now what, how did that happen? Now, wait a minute. So it was funny, it was annoying and funny at the time, but now, when I look at this whole Boeing story, and look at these things, there's some real, I guess, logistical things that need to be improved. Apparently, the Boeing 737 will be back up in the air pretty soon. Now, this is talking about domestic flights, the report that I got earlier today that I read. This is talking about domestic flights, and they're going to go airline by airline. Some of those Boeing 737s will be up this mid-December and early January, but there are going to be strict guidelines that they have to meet, strict standards that they have to meet before they are able to take off. But they are projected to be back in the air mid-December and early January. So we definitely want to keep a lookout on that. Let me do a little housekeeping. Shout out to you, Ronna Berry Morin, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I love you for that, sis. And I saw one more. I saw another from Latasha Bladen. Thank you so much, Miss Bladen. And I see a super comment. Okay. Wonderful for us small business creators. Thank you. Oh, you're just thinking. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I thought it had something to do with the show. Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate that. Let's see. I have this comment here. This was a good one. I have witnessed a pilot leave a flight because nobody had fueled it. No joke. They walked right off after it had boarded. Now, see, that's the whole problem. That's a whole problem. Yeah, when I had that experience, I was like, wait, how did we get all the way on the flight? Like, how did y'all call us section by section when we was in the airport? Let us get on, sit down, buckle in, get my snacks and my cover, put my phone on airplane mode, and then you find out that the plane needed an oil change. I don't understand those things. That threw me. That threw me for real. A little more housekeeping. John Green, shout out to you. I think that's John Green, my brother. Probably because ain't no photo. That's probably him. Shout out to my brother John Green. Thank you so much for the super sticker. So Boeing, just keep a lookout for Boeing because it will be back in the air pretty soon. Now, we talked about Lindsey Graham yesterday. We talked about Lindsey, and we're going to talk about Lindsey again because there are new calls for Lindsey Graham to be investigated for election interference. And I'm here for it because that is what it sounds like he did. If you were here on the live stream yesterday, or if you listened to the podcast yesterday, then you'll know that we said that there's controversy growing because Lindsey Graham came and was talking to or called the Secretary of State in Georgia, who is a Republican. The Secretary of State in Georgia came out and basically said, or not even basically said that Lindsey Graham was trying to pressure him, right, to find a way to throw ballots away, and that Republicans are trying to pressure him to swing this election, this recount right now, because they're in a recount, to swing the election towards Donald Trump. Now, we also discussed how they're doing the hand recount and how they found those 2,700 votes. Let me look at my notes from yesterday. They found those 2,700 votes, which is a real issue, right? Is a real issue. And I told y'all, whether all 2,700 of those votes from that one particular county is for Donald Trump or for Joe Biden, it's still an issue that those were missed outside of the original count. So I'll give you that. I won't give you that there's this wide scale fraud, but I will give you that. That is a problem. I agree. We see each other on that one. What I do not agree on is Lindsey Graham, who is the head of the Senate Judiciary Committee and not the head of the Senate Rules Committee. Like I told you yesterday, the Senate Rules Committee is actually over our federal elections. So, and Lindsey Graham is not on that committee in the Senate. So he really has no reason to be calling anybody. Well, baby, the people is upset. The people said, no, you just can't be going around here putting pressure on folks trying to swing elections. And people want him to, one, resign and be investigated. Now, Lindsey Graham is not resigning. There's no way. Maybe in a world where John McCain was still living, maybe. Because Lindsey Graham been flip-flopped so many times ever since John McCain passed. It's like, South Carolina, y'all had one job. Y'all had one. Now we got to listen and live with Lindsey for 6 more years. We got to hear his mouth for 6 more years because he's not going to resign. South Carolina, you had one job. But we'll talk about y'all later. But he's not going to resign. I don't believe that. I don't see that. I don't. The investigation, however, I do see that happening because this sounds like a real thing. This, based on the Secretary of State of Georgia, it sounds like you did try to pressure him to find a way to throw away legally casted ballots, which sounds like election interference to me in a federal election. So, yes, we do need to look into that. Yes, that's a legitimate, since everybody want to bring up a lawsuit, everybody want to investigate something around the election, investigate that. That's a legitimate thing. That is a legitimate, that is not something that we can allow to stand. And what I've been seeing clips of Lindsey Graham saying, you know, we need to challenge the vote. We need to challenge how this thing is done because if mail-in ballots are just going to be sent out all willy-nilly, another Republican won't ever be elected in again. First off, Republicans, like I told you yesterday, have traditionally voted by mail. It was this year, due to the pandemic and Democrats urging their voters to vote by mail, that there was a flip in that, right? So now you have a problem. Again, the hypocrisy. Now you have a problem with mail-in ballots because your team is not the team that's benefiting from it. Now y'all are willing to break the system because everybody keeps asking, like, what's happening to the Republican Party? What's going on? You know, they should know better. They do know better. You can't convince me that they don't know better. What they see is the writing on the wall, and that more people were activated. Yes, Donald Trump got more votes than he did in 2016. That's a fact. And the other fact is that Joe Biden is still leading him by 5 million votes. Hillary Clinton won a popular vote by 3 million. Joe Biden is winning it by 5. So yeah, we'll give Trump that fact, but also put context to it. Joe Biden is still leading him by 5 million votes. They see the writing on the wall, and so they are willing to tear down this democracy or this country that they claim to love so much because they see that the people are not with them. And so it is not that they identify with the people's will, but they identify with the power that they hold, and they will do anything to retain it. That is what I believe. That is what I believe because that is what they are showing me. Now, if you show me something differently, then I will believe something differently. But when you show me who you are, I'm going to believe it. So yes, somebody needs to look into Lindsey Graham's potential election interference because it's a problem. And that's on period, poo. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I told you this was going to be quick, short. Oh, more housekeeping. I see another super sticker. I got to shout out my girl, Shirley Freelon Austin. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Oh, my brother commented. That's him. That's me, bro. Oh, okay, my brother's watching. Shout out to my brother. Oh, and y'all, if y'all seen on my Instagram, I think I posted on my Instagram, one of my nephews, he was dressed up like a doctor, baby. He's tackling COVID. That's my little tink. That's my rambunctious baby. Like I got 3 babies. I got the small one, I got the medium-sized boy, and then I got the girl. And yeah. Anyway, so let me. The people came here for politics, not for me to talk about my family. So that is it for today, y'all. I'm about to go. Like I told you, enjoy this flame throwing, whatever it is that's gonna happen in a couple hours. Let me scroll through some comments. Let me just see. Anything that y'all want to discuss real quick before I hop off? Anything y'all want to discuss? Again, before we jump off, I got my Cash App and stuff scrolling at the bottom if you'd like to donate. trust me, it is truly beneficial. If you want to send a super chat or super sticker, that is also beneficial. Merch, links in bios everywhere else. And if you have a brand or you have an item that you want to advertise or you have an event that's coming up that you want to advertise, email me at advertisewithq@gmail.com, advertisewithq@gmail.com, and we can talk through those things and see what we can do. Okay, here's a good one. Let's see. I'm in New Jersey and can see what let's see here. Can see what has happened in the other states of voter suppression. Graham McConnell, racists need a recount in their states. Well, that's the thing, right? They're not calling for recounts in their own states that they want. Barack Obama even said it himself, that if the Republican Party thought that there was so much fraud, they didn't say anything for the first 2 days after the election because they were winning. They were winning their Senate races and their congressional races. Trump was losing. They didn't say it then. So keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. This was too fast. I had to be in and out. The other shows have been about 45 minutes. I just got to be in and out because I definitely want to go enjoy this so much. Oh, yes. For those that don't know, I am in Cabo, Mexico right now, enjoying some rest and relaxation. That's why I'm not doing the minute up-to-date minute by minute breaking news updates. We're doing it once a day right here on the show. Thank you so much for the super comment, Harris66 James. It says, appreciate your spirit and focus. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, that's a super comment. You can always do those. Super stickers, you can always do those. Again, this is the end of the show. I appreciate you all for rocking with me. I appreciate you all for always coming through, always making your opinion known. I see we didn't have any trolls in the comment section today, so that's always good. And I think I figured out where they came from. There is this other social media app that they had invited me on. Someone invited me on, and I've noticed that it's supposed to be for free speech, but I have noticed a lot of let me call it a thing, a lot of MAGA supporters on there. That complain about TikTok and Instagram saying that they're being censored and banned. 9 times out of 10 when somebody's saying that, when I hear that, it's because they're either spreading hate speech, propaganda, lies, all that stuff. So I did post that I was going to be on here yesterday. I didn't post that today just to kind of see if that's where it was coming from. I haven't seen any trolls in the comments. You all can comment and let me know if you saw them. I tried to pay attention. I haven't seen any trolls in the comments, so I think that's where they were coming from. So I made limit letting the people know on that particular platform what I am going to do so we can engage in serious dialogue. Thank you again, guys, so much. I love you. I will be back tomorrow. We'll decide a time tomorrow. And until then, again, dissent, not disrespect.
A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts.